Hey all, Steve from GuitarNiche here. Well, today we're going to look at using a radius gauge to set saddle heights. Alrighty, so on our bench we have a lovely Fiesta Red American Vintage II 61 reissue. It's got a 7 1/4 inch vintage style radius on the fretboard, and it uses, I believe it's a 1/16 inch driver, hex driver for the grub screws on the saddles. So what I've done at this point is I've set the outer strings to their optimal dimension, you might say. So the relief is set nice. I checked through the first string. It's bending with reasonable clearance without fretting out. Relief is good. And I did the same on the low E string. It's at an optimal height. So what I've done is set my outer limits. These two strings, the outer strings here, will dictate what happens through the middle. So how we're going to deal with that is we can come at it two different ways. One is to take our radius gauge and put it under the strings as such. Gently lift up on it and see who's ringing and who's not. Well, that low E is ringing, meaning the A is low, perhaps the D is low, the G may be low. Oh, yeah, definitely. The B and the G are going to be low because the first string's ringing out. Now, another way to approach this is to do it from the top. This is my preferred way of doing this because it's more controllable. You just let the weight of the unit itself just sit on top of the strings. Okay. Okay. And once again, we're hearing the middle strings ring out, meaning that they are too low. We had the reverse situation the other way. Now, the other thing I want to mention here is that these are fresh strings, and I've taken the time to make sure that I've pressed them into the leading edge of each saddle, meaning that as a string comes up and transitions to the playing plane, there is no roundness to the string which will give me a misreading. That's very important when you're doing this sort of thing, okay? Now, from here it's just a matter of adjusting each string in turn to allow it to, like, we should have a dull sound. You should hear each string. I'm just going to give this a quick tweak here. I know these middle strings here are a little bit low. And I'll just go through them one at a time here. I'm also making sure that the saddles are nice and, they're not crooked or anything like that. I'll eyeball it and test it out. I'd usually do this in a sitting position anyway, but... Okay, so now E and B are good. G and D have to come up a little bit. A is great. E is, of course, great. So now it's just a matter of bringing this up a little bit. It's just very, very small increments, okay? And don't worry about your tuning. I mean, you can go back and tune. This is not going to affect your, the tuning has no effect on all of this, okay? Okay, a little bit more G and a little bit more D. If these don't look perfectly flush, level, all of that sort of thing, I apologize, because normally, as I said, I would be doing this sitting in a sitting position. I can see all this stuff as I work. A little more D. And we should be just great, okay? Now, as I said, see this, okay. I'm gonna double check that. Well, maybe a little less A. Well, this is the process. This is the way it goes. We're talking like like minimal, like microns almost. That's good. Okay, so I'm doing it from the top. This is the radius of the fretboard. The problem is this may not exactly match on the underside of the strings. The radius may not match the fretboard exactly, but we're talking like just like a thousandth or two here and there. That's not going to matter so much. In fact, this is actually a benefit. To work from the top gives you an additional benefit because you actually gain a little bit more air under the middle strings, which allows them a little bit more freedom of movement, and it feels right, if I could, use a term like that. Okay. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Now I'll go back, and the final step will be to make sure everything is nice and level as it should be. Recheck this, and of course double check the intonation. Other than that, this is how beautiful. This is how we set the radius on a Strat bridge. Traditional vintage style Strat bridge. Okay. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out. As always, play loud, have fun, have a great day, like and subscribe. Cheers. See ya.